Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the public hearing. Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor Enright. Here. Councilor McLaughlin. Here. Councilor Todd. Here. Councilor Walker. Here. Councilor Barlow.
Here.
Councilor Van Buren. Here. Councilor Kaplowitz.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Public hearing is regarding the proposed local law number 1 of the year 2015, a local law authorizing the property tax levy in excess of the limit established in General Municipal Law, Section 3-C. No one has signed up to address the Assembly. Is there anyone here who would like to comment on this in the public hearing? So, there's no one that's wishes to address the Assembly. I will convene this meeting. We're going to have a motion to... Oh, I'm sorry. Councilor Van Buren, second. Councilor Enright. Please call the roll.
Councilor Todd. Yes. Councilor Walker. Yes. Councilor Barlow.
Yes.
Councilor Van Buren. Yes. Councilor Kaplowitz.
Yes.
Councilor Enright.
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin.
Yes.
The motion passes 7-0.
That convenes the public hearing. The public session will start in about 5 minutes. Will councilors please take their seats? All right, this is the public session. Now we do have some people who signed up for the session. What I'm going to do is I'll call your name, come to the podium, speak into the microphone. Try to keep your comments to under 5 minutes. State your name and your address. And the first one that I have signed up is James Early. Jim.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, City Council. I'm very pleased to be able to speak tonight, just very briefly, because I would like to make a plea for both honesty and civility. I'm very pleased to see so many people out at the council meeting tonight. I've encouraged many of them to come out and talk about the issues that they're concerned about. In particular, an issue that was brought up at the last council meeting concerning a variance. Following that particular meeting, the moderators of the Facebook page for Spencer's Ali put the following quote: along with making it more expensive to live in the city of Oswego Common Council has decided to amend the noise variance, effectively making it impossible to have live music. That statement is patently false. There was no amending of any sort of ordinances. There was no mention of the variance. There was no mention of the fact that this music was to be played outdoors. Now, of course, when you make outrageous claims like that in a public forum, you invite outrageous comments. Let me give you just a couple. Quote, insane. No wonder this town is in trouble. There's no reason to live here, no jobs, and eventually no fun, unquote. And then the following, and please forgive the language. Quote, the city of Oswego is governed by a bunch of idiots, hell-bent on driving it into the ground, unquote. So I ask our friends who are going to be speaking tonight in support of this variance, if they share those sentiments. Do they share the contempt for this body that are present in those statements? Do they share the utter disregard for the neighbors who express their concerns about, the valid concerns about the noise levels in their neighborhood? If they do, that really calls into question whether or not this body can trust that that this establishment would abide by any agreement that's eventually reached. And if they don't agree with these statements, we might ask them why they're still posted up on their Facebook page. Heaven knows we have a lot of challenges in this city, but the last thing that we need is for people to be spouting off and talking about things that are just patently untrue. We don't need to tear the city down any further. So in closing, I would just like to say I'm very pleased to see all of these folks here tonight. What I hope is that we will have a discussion in the spirit of honesty and civility, and I hope you all agree. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Early. The next speaker is James Enright.
Good evening. My name is James Enright. I live at 17 West Cayuga Street in the First Ward of the city. I'm here tonight because I'm of the understanding that there is a request being made to one of the committees that a variance request has been made to increase the decibel levels or the noise levels in the various wards of the city. I think it's unreasonable for any citizen of this city that would have to endure loud outdoor music playing past 10, 11 o'clock at night. I think that people deserve a good night's rest. We have people who live in our building that get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. They have to get to work. And I'll be honest, last summer it was almost impossible to sleep with the loud outdoor music. I'm not here to promote Old City Hall, but I live in the same proximity to that facility. I never hear any music from there, but from the office or the Clubhouse Tavern and Spencer's Alley specifically, the noise was just too unreasonable. And I really would hope that we could solve this problem in a manner in which the people who want to enjoy outdoor music downtown can enjoy it, but at a certain hour, it's very unreasonable for people to have to listen to loud outdoor music. And I wish that the council would address this problem before the summer season starts and we're without sleep when we need it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker is Mr. James Toy. Jim.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Councilman, fellow citizens. It's kind of a two-part thing. But first off, after listening to Jim speak a moment ago, he's right. Social media is no place for politics. If you have something to say, this is the forum in which we do it. To bash this government, who's been challenged quite heavily with many bigger issues than a noise variance, is ludicrous. For those that hide behind internet postings, I implore you to stand here and make those same claims face-to-face with these gentlemen who work for us most of the time. We don't agree with them sometimes. Sometimes they do great things for us. But my biggest issue is we got bigger fish to fry in this town than a noise variance. People in this town know what this town's been like. If you've lived here longer than 5 years, you know what this town's about. 50-some years or 60-some years that track's been running up there, and now all of a sudden it's getting pulled into this rhetoric of a noise complaint. That's part of what this town's about. You know, trying to build a culture downtown and allow businessmen to bring people to our city. We just took a 43% increase in taxes. Now you want to handcuff the business owners so they can't make any money, so they can't bring people in to pay tax dollars to the city. They're going to ask for more money in a budget increase or a tax increase again. But yet you don't want anybody to come here and spend money which generates tax revenue. It's like cutting your nose off to spite your face. I don't get it. And I do get the fact that I got to pay that 43%. And the people that hide behind different media outlets and can't stand in front of a group of people and speak their piece should just be disregarded. You know, and secondly is a proposal to the committee and to the town for this noise thing from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Give them their variance. Don't do any paperwork. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, the dB level should be 85 or 90 or whatever they're asking, with a zero tolerance policy. Everybody's got a cell phone these days. Download a dB app. You get a noise complaint, cop walks over, gentlemen, police officers, walk over to the establishment. If they exceed it, you write a ticket, tell them to turn it down. Zero tolerance. Put the ownership back to the businesses to govern their business. It just doesn't make sense that we're not sensible about how we're going about things. Anything after that goes back to the 65 dB. Where's the problem? I mean, am I the only one that can understand these small things that take huge meetings to fix? I know there's more to it. Ron and I have had conversations in regards to that. There's more to the politics of this town. But we're wasting our time on sound. It's part of what this town is. If you bought a house in the first ward and you've been there more than 2 years, it's not the bars that are causing the problem. We should address the problem that is getting increasingly larger in this city, and that's the college kids. Okay? They're left to run rampant in the streets, parties to all hours of the night, and how many of those people are getting issued tickets for disrupting their neighborhoods? And now we're going to attack small business owners. I work downtown, okay? I've seen what's happened over the last 2-3 years in this city. It's getting better. It truly is. But yet now we want to step in the mud and pull everybody down there with us and take 3 steps backwards. I don't get it. So I hope the committee, and I can talk with Mr. Barlow, my councilman, in regards to that proposal, but that's just, it seems like an easy fix. Zero tolerance, Memorial Day to Labor Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker is Nate Emmons. Mr. Emmons.
Nate Emmons from the 5th Ward, 70 West Bridge Street, or 3rd Ward. I used to live in the 5th Ward. Mr. Mayor, Councilman, I'm here tonight to talk about just a slightly different subject, and that's Warm Up Oswego. I just wanted to extend my thanks to the council, to the mayor, and to the city of Oswego on behalf of the committee for their continued support of the festival, which is taking place on February 7th. Without your support and help, certainly the festival would not be where it is, and where we would not be able to do what we do within the city. We actually have a beautiful city, all 4 seasons, and we're very thankful that you're allowing us to continue the festival this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. The next speaker is Ms. Helen Zakin.
I have a visual, so hold it up while I'm giving my talk. My name is Helen Zakin. My address is 63 Hillcrest Drive. Good evening. I'm here to speak on behalf of our recently formed grassroots organization, Save Oswego's Historic Sites. We continue to be concerned about the future of the Cahill building, especially now that it is again available for bids by potential developers. As you must know, the building has been on the National Register of Historic Sites since 1976. In view of public statements made by various individuals that the building is too far gone to save, and that the site would be more attractive to a developer if the building were not there, we make the following urgent request of the mayor and the council. Any new contract with a developer must include a provision that the Cahill building may not be demolished, but must be preserved, preserving its historic exterior. We respectfully request that members of our group be considered in the selection and review process for future developers and/or assist with the drafting of the RFP, which we hope includes language that requires a future developer to rehabilitate the building. The Cahill Building's National Historic Registry make possible application for grant money toward its restoration, and this should be emphasized with prospective developers, along with assistance from the appropriate city departments. The group would like to remind you that in the interim, the city, as the current steward of the building, is responsible for further preventive maintenance. such as the securing of the roof, for which we again commend and thank you. Finally, our group continues its campaign of collecting signatures on the petition to save the Cahill building with a goal of 1,000. Our work so far has shown that the sentiment among our citizens for preserving this historic site is very strong. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to make any comments? Okay. Well, if that is, I will adjourn the public session and call the regular meeting to order.
Tom? Mayor?
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, well, he's going to do it. Please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Counselor Enright.
Here.
Counselor McLaughlin.
Here.
Counselor Todd. Counselor Walker. Counselor Barlow.
Here.
Counselor Van Buren.
Here.
Counselor Kaplowitz.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Before we go into the mayor's report, I know Councilor Enright has a little demonstration he'd like to do to address the crowd here. It might be interesting
Yeah.
regarding the TV.
What I thought I'd do, folks, I'm going to little demonstration on what exactly 85 decibels would be or 90 decibels would be. With all the talk about, this variance that we're issuing, I think one of the things you need to consider is what exactly are we talking about? How much noise are we talking about? So you get an idea of what we're voting for. So just give me a minute. I'm going to ask one of the officers to come up, and he's going to have a decibel meter here, the same one that we use, that we go around and check the noise in front of any establishment if there's a complaint. And I'm going to go in the other room, and I'm going to make some noise. So just bear with me for a few minutes, and then, we can go on. I will come back. Oh, you got a chance to hear what 90 decibels is, and if you live within 500 feet or, a couple blocks from any established down there, I don't think that from 9 p.m. until 2 a.m. in the morning, from Wednesday until Sunday, that you'd be too happy about it. But the whole thing is, these variances are a give and take. And all I think I'd like people to take away from this is whoever disagrees with this is contact Mr. McGrath, and you guys get together and come up with something that's workable to bring to a committee so that we don't get something like this that says 90 decibels for 4 months out of the year that we can work with. Because every one of us here, I think, is willing to work with variances, and most of these things on variances are usually for a one-day event, which we consider. Something like this, I believe, and Mr. McGrath is very easy to work with, and I'm sure he may even invite some of the residents down to his bar, have a band down there, and they can come up with a solution. Then come back to us with something that's reasonable, and I think everybody would be happy. So, that's what I got to say on it. I was the chair of the committee, so that's what came through my chair with a few of the other counselors up there, and our decision was to take no action, which means that, but let's go back to the drawing table, come back with something that we can work with. Thanks, thank you.
Current maximum 65.
The current maximum for downtown commercial is 65.
Thank you, Councilor Enright. I will, first of all, are there any other councilors that have any reports or comments? Councilor Todd.
I'd like to start off by commending the DPW. Over the last probably 3 weeks, they've been hit with a rash of water main breaks in the 3rd Ward between 104 and Washington Boulevard. And in this cold weather, they've been out there for 8, 9, 10 hours at a time trying to fix what have been at least 3 really large ones. So I'd really like to commend them. On another note, anybody who isn't aware of it, 2 summers ago, the neighborhood got together in West Park and spent a lot of time renovating, repainting, and doing a lot of work on trying to make that all look better for the neighborhood. Sometime in the last month, there was a substantial amount of damage done to West Park with graffiti and other stuff. We're starting to see licenses all over the city, in the 3rd Ward, all over the city. And if anybody has any information regarding any of the vandalism that was done at West Park, please contact the city police department so we can get a stop on it. Because most of the department has to be completely repainted again in the spring. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Yes, Councilor Enright.
On that same note, I'd like to ask if any parents are noticing that they got their spray paint that they may have just bought, or they're missing some of the inventory, ask your children what's going on. If their fingers are all colored in white and red and brown, different colored paints, ask them, because we spent a lot of time in our group painting that park, and it was quite a mess. So I think this is it's a community park, and I think it needs everybody's help in order to keep it nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, under the mayor's report, I do have a few comments. The first one is a sad note. January 17th, one of our city employees and former firefighter passed away. Salvatore Martirano. We knew him as Sam Martirano. I went to high school with him. I graduated with him. He worked for the water department for 2 years, and then as a firefighter for 39 years. So he spent 41 years working for the city. So I would like to have a moment of silence in memory of Sam. Thank you. On a lighter note, comment on what Mr. Emmons said earlier. I did go to the Fireball event Friday night at the Foundry. It was sold out. It was a great success. That was a fundraiser for Warm Up Oswego to pay for the fireworks that we're going to have February the 6th and 7th. So that's only a week and a half away. I want to thank primarily the Promotion and Tourism Advisory Board for everything they've done. And they've done a remarkable job of generating some excitement and activity that's making our community fun again. And several of the people have mentioned that it's getting better. And this is one of the things that we'd like to celebrate. So I'd like to personally thank Nate Emmons, Amy Birdsall, Mary Van Owls, Christy Eck, Austin Wheelock, Jackie Thorpe, Mercedes Neese, Ellen Clark, Ron Kaplitz, and Eric Finger, and through all their work. This is one of the things that makes our city a community. And so I encourage everyone to come celebrate winter. I mean, look at what's going on in New York and Boston and Oswego. We're used to this kind of stuff. So I encourage everyone to come out for Warm Up Oswego. Also, we do have a proclamation that I would like to read and present. This is the proclamation is for the Run for Dennis Day, which is going to be held Saturday, March the 14th. I understand that Mr. Chip Keogh is here with his wife Karen. He's going to accept the proclamation, which I will read. And I also understand that we do have Collins, Leslie Carruccio, and Karen Caruso as well. So I understand there'll be a photo op, so if you'd like to come up, we can take a picture of that. I'll read the proclamation, I'll call you up. And I understand, Dennis, or Chip, you want to make a comment? Can we do that after I read the proclamation?
Okay.
Here is the proclamation.
The Run for Dennis Day, Saturday, March 14th.
2015, whereas Run for Dennis is a not-for-profit organization whose mission is to heighten awareness for bladder cancer prevention. And whereas the City of Oswego and the Oswego Common Council would like to recognize the following businesses that support the Run for Dennis event. Those people are Entergy, Gibby's Irish Pub, Oswego County Federal Credit Union, the Beacon Hotel, the Sunset Group, Fleet Feet Sports of Syracuse, Associated Dental Arts, Bosco and Gears, C's Farm Market, Cestero Chiropractic, Eagle Beverage, DJ Plus, GU Energy Gel, Fitzgibbons Real Estate, Power Racing, Burke's Home Center, Chirello Advertising, Harbor Eye Associates, iHeart Oswego, Integrative Healing and Spa, Kinney Drugs, Mitchell Speedway Press, Murdoch Sports, Ontario Orchards, Oswego Bagelry and Sandwich Shop, the Oswego Hibernians, the Oswego Lions Club, Port City Chiropractic, Rice Chopper, Riverview Wellness, Azteca, Pressbox, RJ Caruso Tax Service, Top Stitch, Wilsey, Wegmans, Road ID, Sugar and Scanlon Funeral Home, Warner Physical Therapy, Tri Oswego, and Trinity Catholic School. Now, therefore, I, Thomas W. Gillen, Mayor of the City of Oswego, do hereby proclaim Saturday, March the 14th, as Run for Dennis Day, and encourage the members of our community to support the Run for Dennis event, dated January 26, 2015. So,
Folks would like to come up, you can
present this proclamation. Yes, I would. You want to, not good. Who's going to be accepting this? Ah, okay. Okay, take your time. Have a nice day, March 14th. This we go. Do the best we can. Okay, so can we get everybody in here? I get no respect around here. Thank you. Oh, this guy. Oh, yeah. You just smiling. All right. Thank you. Oh, yes. Would you want to make a few comments? Okay, Mr. Keel will say a few words.
Thank you. This is the fourth annual event for the Run for Dennis walk. Bladder cancer is now the sixth most common type of cancer in men and women combined in the United States, with over 74,000 new cases diagnosed in 2014 alone. Men and women alike are affected, and many are not aware of the warning signs and thus delay in detection and treatment. Before learning he had cancer, Dennis was always quick to lend a hand to help others, whether it was somebody needs help rewiring their house, fixing a car. He always lending the use of his tools, or just needing advice. Dennis was a go-to guy. We'd like to honor his giving ways by helping to continue the fight against bladder cancer, a disease commonly known as the old man cancer that often gets overlooked for research grants and funds. Bladder cancer is the fourth most common type of cancer among men in the United States, with over 69,000 new cases diagnosed in 2011 alone. Throughout his three-year fight, Dennis was very proactive in researching bladder cancer trials and treatments. He was adamant that more could be done to help eradicate this disease. We're continuing his fight. Please help us do what we can to ensure that bladder cancer can be given the heave-ho and that other families get to enjoy their loved ones for years to come. The Run for Dennis 5K is now an IRS-recognized 501c3 charitable organization, and we appreciate your support, and thank you for having us this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Keel. Will the clerk please call Resolution 27?
Resolution 27 would approve the minutes of the Common Council meeting held January 12th, 2015.
Councilor Van Buren and Councilor Barlow. Please call the roll.
Councilor Todd? Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Barlow?
Yes.
Councilor Van Buren?
Yes.
Councilor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Councilor Enright?
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 28.
Resolution 28 would appoint Commissioner of Deeds.
Council Walker. Council Van,
Or,
Council Catlett. Need a second? Please call the roll.
Councilor Todd? Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Barlow?
Yes.
Councilor Van Buren?
Yes.
Councilor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Councilor Enright?
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
please call Resolution 29.
Resolution 29 would approve the use of public spaces at the request of Mr. and Mrs. Robert McGrath, proprietors of the Clubhouse Tavern in Spencer's Alley located at 124 and 126 West 2nd Street, in order to host the annual United Way breakfast on Saturday, July 25th, 2015.
Councilor Enright and Councilor Todd. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilor Todd? Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Barlow?
Yes.
Councilor Van Buren?
Yes.
Councilor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Councilor Enright?
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 30.
Resolution 30 would approve the use of city properties at the request of the Oswego Lions Club in order to host their annual River's Edge Craft Show to be held Sunday, June 7th, 2015.
Councilor Kaplowitz, Councilor Todd. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilor Todd? Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Barlow?
I'd like to abstain.
Councilor Van Buren?
Yes.
Councilor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Councilor Enright?
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 6-0 with one abstention.
Please call Resolution 31.
Resolution 31 would approve proposed local law number 1 of the year 2015, a local law authorizing a property tax levy in excess of the limit established in General Municipal Law, Section 3-C.
Councilor Van Buren. Councilor Kaplowitz. Any discussion? Councilor Van Buren.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the same resolution that we pass annually. This does not affect the tax cap that was put in place by the public resolution that was on the ballot this year. This is the governor's 2%. It does change every year. We did come under it this year, but to give an example, it was lowered to 1.47%. With that moving target, it's best for us to waive this to give us a safety net, and that's all that this resolution does.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Councilor Todd? Councilor Walker?
Yes.
Councilor Barlow?
Yes.
Councilor Van Buren?
Yes?
Councilor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Councilor Enright?
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 32.
Resolution 32 would authorize the mayor to execute a public safety agreement with Erie Boulevard Hydropower LP.
Just like to thank Brookfield Power again for the work that they put in renegotiating this with us. They met with members of the public as well as city officials to renegotiate this contract and change a lot of the issues that we had. I hope city residents haven't noticed the siren that's been playing or the lights that were once flashing. We've made several changes to that, including changes the direction and volume of the speakers, the tone that was used, lowering the lights and encasing them in a box so that they can only be seen from below. Along with some of the other changes that they made for public safety, they continued to address the PFD issue and have those available as a loaner program with the Oswego Fire Department. Mr. Elmer and the other gentlemen from Brookfield Power have also instituted annual agreements, updates for this so that we can readdress issues as they come up rather than trying to contracting it to make commitments that way. Now it'll be done biannually, I believe. Also, another issue that they did that was a large problem with the residents was the bullhorn that was being used to direct people in the river. Brookfield has now instituted a river steward so that someone can be down there to discuss with the fishermen proper safety etiquette and the changes that have been made when they need to exit the water so that we can have a smoother transition when the siren is alerted and people don't have to leave or they're not out of the water for several hours at a time. So I thank Brookfield for all the efforts that they put forward doing this.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 33.
Resolution 33 would authorize the mayor to execute a contract with the town of Sandy Creek for animal shelter services.
Counselor McLaughlin and Counselor Walker. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 34.
Resolution 34 would authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary for the enactment of legislation to extend the additional 1% sales and compensating use tax.
Counselor Kaplowitz, Counselor Van Buren. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Do this proposed law.
Resolution 35 would authorize the public hearing regarding proposed local law number 2 of the year 2015, a local law regarding the denial or revocation of permits.
Counselor Van Buren and Counselor Enright. Is there any discussion? Counselor Barlow.
I'd just like to thank Councilor Enright for bringing this forward. He was the one that brought it to me, at least. And what this is a reasonable, common sense, in my opinion, long overdue change to our tax and our taxing and permitting system. And what it does for the public, members of the public, is for the past several years, you could rent property in the city, and you could apply for a rental permit while you owe taxes. So you could go an extended period of time, months or years, without paying your taxes and still apply and be granted a rental permit. So what this does is when you apply, we check, and if you owe taxes, you're not going to get your rental permit. The problem with mainly landlords going an extended period of time without paying their taxes is in the meantime we have to pick up the slack. We have to pick up the tab. We're essentially subsidizing their rental business. We being taxpayers, home-owning, owner-occupied residents of the city. So, this fixes, I don't know of any business where you cannot pay your fees, taxes, et cetera, and still be licensed to operate regularly. So, in my opinion, I'm going to support this because if you pay your taxes and you pay your taxes on time, this doesn't apply to you. If you don't pay your taxes or you don't pay your taxes on time, you have bigger problems than this, I think. So, again, thanks to Councilor Enright, I'm going to be supporting this. I'll be supporting this again in 2 weeks, and I urge my colleagues to do the same.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other comments from the council? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 6-0.
Resolution 36.
Resolution 36 would approve a transfer of funds from the self-insurance fund to the unallocated insurance.
Counselor Van Buren. Counselor Walker. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 37.
Resolution 37 would approve the transfer of funds from the personnel contingent account to the Law Department Personal Services account.
Counselor Kaplowitz. Counselor
This is the plan that we talked about during budget season. We thought that it was important for us to get some more time for the attorneys to be in office. One of the benefits of doing this was the proposed local law number 2 of the year dealing with the permits. Because of the extra hours that we put in, City Attorney Tom Reynolds was able to collaborate with City Attorney Gay Williams a little more and hammer the details out so that we could get this started early. So I think some of the benefits have already been seen. I think it helps us out when we have the attorneys in-house more and for the meetings that we have and some continuity purposes when we have contracts and those things come up that we have to meet about. It helps stop us from delaying the process by only meeting during executive session or during committee meetings and we can ask questions to them. The more they're around, the better we'll be served.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 38.
Resolution 38 would approve attendance at the social networking investigation training to be held February 18th through the 20th, 2015 in Ulster County, New York, at the request of Tori DeCare, Police Chief.
Counselor Todd and Counselor Enright. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 39.
Resolution 39 would approve attendance at the basic course for police officers beginning February 23rd, 2015 in Elmira, New York, at the request of Tori L. DeCare, Police Chief.
Counselor Todd.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 40.
Resolution 40 would approve attendance at the Fire Officer 1 and Fire Investigator 2 courses to be held February 20th through the 22nd, 2015, and March 2nd through the 13th, 2015, in Montour Falls, New York, at the request of Jeffrey M. McCroby, Fire Chief.
Counselor McLaughlin and Counselor Todd. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 41.
Resolution 41 would approve attendance at the Code Enforcement Officials Conference to be held March 1st through the 5th, 2015, in New York, at the request of Jeffrey M. McCroby, Fire Chief.
Counselor Enright and Counselor Todd. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 42.
Resolution 42 would approve attendance at the Fire Marshal's Conference to be held October 20th through the 23rd, 2015, in Montour Falls, New York, at the request of Jeffrey M. McCroby, Fire Chief.
McLaughlin, Counselor Kaplowitz. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Resolution number 43 is not going to be Resolution 44.
Resolution 44 would waive the rules of the Common Council to present resolutions number 45 through 47 from the floor without committee consideration.
Counselor Van Buren, Counselor Todd. Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Yes. Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Please call Resolution 45.
Resolution 45 would approve a transfer of funds from the personnel contingent account to the Fire Department Personal Services account.
Counselor Todd. Counselor Van Buren. Any discussion? Counselor Walker.
Yes, thank you. About a year ago, just over a year ago, we had a meeting up at the middle school about the budget, do away with the code enforcement. This is for the code enforcement, this $100,000 to go into contingent fund. And what we were told there, the fire department was going to take over the code enforcement, and it was supposed to be done on straight time, not overtime, comp time. And this is where it's going to go. It's going to go to comp time and overtime. And I don't believe it should be. It should be done on straight time, because we pay now, we're going to pay for the future of the city, or the person retiring. So I'm not going to be able to support this tonight.
Thank you, Counselor.
Any other comments from the council? Council Barlow.
Like Councilor Walker, I won't be supporting it for a different reason. I've been more or less against the fire department doing code since the beginning, although it was transferred from code enforcement to fire department before I was on. But I believe the system right now is broken. I believe it's been broken since the time it was put in the fire department, among other departments. I think it's broken because I think it's more expensive than a regular code enforcement. And I think that from my perspective of the fire department, is it's spending more time on our commercial properties, at our hotels, downtown, spending more time at St. John's when it's being renovated to high-end apartments. And I see no improvement in the dilapidated slums in my ward. It's almost like they're driving by the slum on Erie Street to go deter the man investing $300,000 in the St. John's School, turning it into apartments. I think we need to move towards a more business-friendly system. I don't think we're there now. Now, because I'm opposing this, I think I have to offer what the alternative would be, and I would support bringing back a code enforcement department, restructuring it like we've done with several other departments, telling them our focus is on the rentals in our ward that are problematic consistently, and helping getting a vision in line with our new zoning and planning department, in line with community development, and more focused on what the ORA is involved in, and that's going block by block, taking care of house by house. I think we can expand our tax base and raise assessments all around the city if we took an approach with code enforcement and a code enforcement department by focusing on dilapidated rentals. Obviously, we have to pay attention to commercial properties too, but it seems like, from what I see, we're spending more time menacing our businesses downtown and commercial properties all over the city, and I see no improvement whatsoever, at least in my ward, with dilapidated rentals.
Thank you, Councilor.
I want to say that in the past few months, I've had the opportunity to work with the fire chief and this issue alone, and the code enforcement and the role of the fire department and what they play in this whole code enforcement department. And what people have to understand is that when we dissolved the code enforcement office in the city, and we gave this task to the fire department, that they were already doing 3 other jobs in the city. They were running a full-time fire service plus an ambulance service, and in the summer months they had a water rescue department that they were using, and now we gave them code enforcement. So, and on top of that, they were working a schedule that was that's designed for basically their firefighting duties, what they were doing, not to be doing all these other tasks. But despite that, with a 1-day on and 3-day off schedule, they still managed to be able to do the code and getting very professional people in there and getting a number of people in there to do it other than just 1 person or 2 people out in the field. Now, we knew this going in that. That was something that we had planned on, that there would be a cost associated with that. And we've seen this cost. I said, but now moving forward, there are certain things that we can do to help eliminate the overtime and the Kelly time, or referred to as comp time. And I believe that we're actually on the road to doing that. Besides, or up to the point where you're really looking at having to open up the contract and negotiate and do some negotiations if you're going to go beyond a further point. Now, I feel there is some room to tighten this budget up a little bit more, but given everything that they're doing at this current time, it's very limited. But I hope to see some reduction in that in the future. And like I said before, Chief McCroby and I have been working on it. So with that, I do support this, but I support it with the knowledge that we're working for a better good on that. And we have invested a lot in our code right now with the fire department. And I hate to see throwing that all away and bringing back another code enforcement office and starting from square one. I think we've got a good start on it. I've seen some great professional results on it. I like what I'm seeing out there, and I've got to support this one transfer.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Todd.
When we first started examining the problems we had in minor transport, and I agree with Councilor Barlow on some of this about the dilapidated buildings, and I'd like to see a higher concentration on some of these places, especially along Bridge Street. What I can say is the numbers that we've gotten from the code on this, and the last year we had a codes office, it cost us a little bit over $289,000. From that, we brought in $24,000 worth of revenue that year, which means it cost the city $265,000. So we got rid of that. Last year, counting a $40,000 one-time fee to get these guys trained, the cost with the overtime, comp time, whatever you want to call it, cost us $140,000. But they also brought in $120,000, so almost $100,000 more than they were bringing in the past, which means the city made $249,000. Now, just to get up enough people so that we could possibly do codes to even a tenth of what we need, we'd have to have at least 4 people in that office, which means that it would cost us almost $500,000 with benefits and everything to do it. Now, I agree with Councilor Enright and Councilor Barlow. I'd like to continue to see us work towards reducing these overtime amounts. But we're spending $120,000 so that we're not spending $500,000 to get the same work, and we're making revenue. We're making revenue on this. We're saving money, and those are the numbers that are there. I mean, anybody can go to Deb's office and get those numbers, pull them out, see what the costs were associated with it when we had a codes office, see what the numbers are now, and see the difference in the revenue. I mean, I've got to support this just because I don't want to see us go backwards to where we were before. We're starting to see progress. I agree with Council Enright that some work. I mean, this is new. It's been a year that we've been doing this, and I think we're probably 2 or 3 years away from having this thing fine-tuned. But I think we're moving in the right direction, and I think you're doing a good job. And the feedback I'm getting from the people in my ward is that we're starting to see a difference.
Thank you, Councilor.
You got to look at it long-term. These guys are getting the overtime. Our taxpayers are paying for the life of that person when they retire. And that's where it's hurting everybody nowadays. That retirement is killing us in the long run. Thank you.
I agree completely on that. But if you look at the numbers for the overtime budget, where the fire department was 4 years ago in 2011, where they spent close to $800,000, and last year they didn't hit $250,000, counting doing this codes work. Well, I'm telling we're making money on this. And it's saving us because you're still going to have to pay 4 or 5 people, 4 codes inspectors, and a secretary to go down there, and you're going to be paying their pension benefits forever too. I mean, is it the perfect situation? I agree with you, Sean. It's not the perfect situation. But when you factor them all in, I think right now this is the best bet we've got. And that's just my opinion. I think you've got the other points. I just think that right now we're saving money on this as opposed to adding more people to the pension overall. I think, yeah, we're going to end up paying some of those people a little bit more because of what they're getting in overtime, as opposed to a full pension of what we're going to get if we hire 5 people.
I don't want to add anybody to the pension. I just want them to do it on straight time. That's all I think.
I think we can get to that, Sean. I'm not arguing.
Councilor Henry.
I feel your pain, Councilor Walker, because, as you know, I've been looking at this for several years, and the only thing I disagree is that in order to do this on straight time, they can't be working a shift that is 1 day on and 3 days off, and that's what they currently work, and that's in their contract. Really nothing we can do other than bring them to the table and opening up the contract for a sit-down And that would not be anything that would happen overnight, and I'm not sure what the results of that would be. But there are several plans and different changes that could be made, and the time really to address some of that would be the end of 2016 when the contract opens up. In the meantime, though, there are some cost savings we can do with overtime, but to expect them to do it totally on straight time, we run into problems because we run into some of these bigger projects that happen that require a much more time to do it, but on the same note, we're getting a lot more money for those permits. So there's a balancing act here. We're juggling a lot of balls in the air, and it's timing. But I feel I've kind of rustled the bushes and came up with some cost savings. But the biggest thing we have to look at is if it has to come, you got to open the contract up, because that's the only chance that you're going to be able to get out of that type of schedule they're working right now, a 24-hour schedule, and getting a balanced shift in there for 3 weeks that works at 8-hour days and have the people available, which is what I'd like to see us gravitate towards. That will take until 2016 to be able to pull that off. So in the meantime, I say Chief McRobey and I are working. We're talking about what we can do and variances we can go on with that schedule, and we've actually come up with some pretty good ideas, and we've actually saved a considerable amount of Kelly time just by overlapping and passing things on to other officers. So other than that, I feel that I have to agree with this. Is for right now, we need to take this step, but I don't agree this should be a long-term thing, and nothing that I want to see this go on past the 2016 deadline. And at that point, I feel we need to make changes.
Any other comments? Mr. Van Buren?
I agree with several of the comments made by each of the counselors. I would like to see a time come when we could probably shift out what I think is the most cost prohibitive measure that the fire department does, and that's site plan review. I'd like to see that either contracted out with a professional firm that can handle some of the larger projects that take multiple hours. We have the dollars to do that in the budget, and I think that would be an important step for us to, speeding up the process for large businesses that are looking to develop in the area. And I would like to see, with that time, shifted over to a consultant or a firm that can handle it, the fire department, as well as the Office of Neighborhood Affairs, focusing on building maintenance code. These are the type of things that will improve our assessed value and increase what the neighborhoods look like and the aesthetics that we have. Those are some of the changes that I would like to see. I do support the fire department's efforts. I know several buildings in my ward have been marked with red X's and several different placards that we've used. Demolition permits are now something that's being issued that was never been issued before. Landlords that were renting without a permit are now seeing fines for renting without those that we haven't seen before. So I appreciate a lot of the efforts that are being made by the Office of Assessment, the fire department, as well as the PD.
Any other comments? Mr. Kaplowitz?
Mr. Your Honor, thank you. I saw this is a great discussion, and this is what we've been talking about for years now, and I think it speaks to how much each of us cares about a particular position and the information as we have it and understand it. It was just over a year ago that we got rid of our code department. We looked at what the opportunity was and asked our fire department to step forward and take on code responsibilities. And it wasn't just the fire department, but our city assessor and several other individuals, including leadership of the mayor, members of this council. And I can tell you over the last year, we've had several meetings to talk about and to brainstorm and to troubleshoot how the whole code enforcement process was going. We went from 0 to where we are today. I think in the end, what we're looking for is fairly enforcing the laws of the state of New York for the safety and welfare of the public. And talk about fairly. And if we look historically, yep, there were some businesses and homeowners and whatnot that were the target of our code office, and others were not because of familiarity or other reasons. That was also because I think we as a council probably fell well short of our goal of having enough code enforcement officers to do the job that needed to be done. It wasn't able to be done. We now have 13 times the personnel working in code enforcement in the city of Oswego, and I think that's a testimony to the fact that we really care about our city. We care about what the quality of life is in our neighborhoods and in our downtown. I think Councilor Todd did the math, and the math equation is pretty dramatic in my opinion when you start to look at the numbers and what we have ultimately saved the taxpayers in having a code enforcement office that, through the fire department, that does much more work for less money. We've talked about, some, the hardships that it places on some businesses, et cetera, and we've said all along, these are, we're enforcing and we're empowered to enforce the laws of the state of New York and the code, and that's what we're doing. But where there is administrative discretion, we should always come out on the side of business and the homeowner. And that is, that is still, I would say, a work in process, because we still need to understand all that administrative discretion that we have as a city in enforcing the code. But it should always come out on the side of the business. And anything else we do is because of what the law requires. That's the job that we're doing. Your Honor, I'll be supporting this, supporting the fire department in this resolution.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other comments? I'd just like to add that I applaud Fire Chief Croby for the dynamic redesign that he has gone through the fire department over the last couple of years. It is a value proposition that we're offering to taxpayers. You get value for this. City is safer. Buildings will be aesthetically will increase all of our living here. So we've still got more work to do. Council Capital said it's work in progress, but we have come from a long way, and we're still from where we were. So is there any other comments? Let's keep going.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
No.
Counselor Barlow?
No.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 5-2.
Please call Resolution 46.
Resolution 46 is a motion to rescind Resolution Number 17, dated January 12th, 2015.
Councilor Van Buren. Second, Councilor Walker. Any discussion?
Thank you, Your Honor. There are a few pieces missing from this resolution. It was best just to rescind it and amend it with the following one. I can discuss the changes when we call the next resolution.
Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0. Resolution 47 would approve the use of city property for the Warm Up Oswego Festival to be held February 6th and 7th, 2015.
Councilor Van Buren. Councilor Kaplowitz. Any discussion? Councilor Van Buren.
Thank you, Your Honor. Out of the previous resolution, left out was that this will be a smoke-free event. We want to make sure that that was clearly stated in the resolution, as well as several street closures for events that they'll be holding. I know the sled race is one of them, scavenger hunts, and a race that they do annually with the event. So those things are now added in there and will be reflected in the resolution.
Thanks, sir. Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The resolution passes 7-0.
Is there any unfinished business? Councilor Van Buren.
Motion to adjourn, Your Honor.
Second, Councilor Todd. Please call the roll.
Counselor Todd? Counselor Walker? Counselor Barlow?
Yes.
Counselor Van Buren?
Yes.
Counselor Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Enright?
Yes.
Counselor McLaughlin?
Yes.
The motion passes 7-0.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Yes.